Hey guys, this is your host Eric. Today we are going to watch action genre movie called Parker. Spoilers ahead, turn on your subtitle, I greatly appreciate your support. Enjoy the video. When his golden retriever was caught eating a hot dog, what did the father say? There is a dog-eat-dog world out there. Today I'm going to review Parker, a 2013 action thriller film. A heads up, there will be major spoilers ahead. The film begins at the Ohio State Fair in Columbus, where the main character, a professional robber with an English accent whom everyone refers to as Bob, arrives. Under the guise of a holy father, he is a modern-day Robin Hood, a professional thief who does not steal from the poor or harm the innocent. Parker leads a gang of criminals that includes Hardwick, a Chicago mob brother, and 4 other criminals with a solid reputation. Their intention is to rob the carnival. Parker infiltrates the local security office, distracting the guards as the clowns sneak in and attack. The guards keep a large sum of money from the 3-day vacation inside. Hardwick starts a controlled fire while the criminals hold the employee hostage. Meanwhile, people continue to have fun without suspecting anything. Parker tries to calm down one of the hostages who is having a panic attack by assuring him that they will not kill him. We learned in flashbacks that Hurley, the protagonist's beloved Claire's father and an elderly thief, was the one who suggested he join the robbery. Claire believes they barely know each other. Parker has been working for Hurley for a long time, and the former thief knows he can rely on him. Hurley has given Parker all of the resources he requires, including members of a clown gang led by a criminal named Long. Meanwhile, the fire grows out of control, causing panic among the participants. When a sum of more than $1 million falls into the hands of the robbers, they take advantage of the commotion and successfully flee the scene with the help of their accomplice Carlson posing as the fire chief. When Hardwick and Parker meet in an abandoned industrial area, the latter holds the man responsible for the deviation from the original. Hardwick had lost time getting to the planned location while spying on the firemen and changing in the tent, and as a result, had set the fire in the barn, not behind the livestock pavilion, but near the propane tank depot. Because this increased the public risk, the investigation became more urgent. The rest of the group arrives, and they all enter. As they drive down a country road, the leader, noticing Parker's professionalism, offers to do another robbery. This time, however, he can expect a $1 million share, but Parker flatly refuses, preferring to take his $200,000 and leave the shady business. Everyone prepares to kill Parker because he refuses to join them in the new robbery, according to a predetermined scenario. Parker realizes he's in danger quickly, manages to injure Carlson, and then jumps out the car window. The gang leader, after being shot by Nell and Dare, orders Hardwick to put an end to the rebellion. The latter exits the car, shoots Parker, and throws him into a pond, after which the bandits flee. Soon after, a farmer passing with his family along that road notices blood on the road and finds the protagonist in the pond and miraculously delivers Parker to the town hospital. The pond awakens in a hospital bed. The man learns from the news that an amusement park fire has killed many people and that the robbers have not been apprehended. The protagonist notices the cops outside the hospital and decides not to wait for them to question him. So if he puts a doctor to sleep and steals his clothes, he avoids having to take a patient outside. He steals an ambulance and flees. He comes to a halt in the van to rest and treat his wounds. Parker decides to track down and kill the people who betrayed him one by one. Parker sneaks into a hunter's motel room after recovering somewhat, and steals a pair of clothes, a multi-tool, an electric razor, and another gun. Parker goes to a check cashing center in Memphis after stealing someone else's car. He kidnaps a hostage and breaks into the center to commit an armed robbery. He requires the funds to create a new identity and documents. Parker later travels to Houston, Texas, and reveals that he is Bob's friend. He orders the new documents from the owner of the print shop and pays him a large sum of money while waiting for the new papers to arrive. Parker calls Hurley and inquires about Hardwick's brother's whereabouts. Hurley tries to persuade him to stay away because these people are dangerous and out of touch. Parker insists on knowing the address, and the old thief reveals the bar where Hart was. His brother is employed. Parker departs for New Orleans right away. He enters the bar and beats up the security guard before finding Hardwick's brother, who owns 5 bars on Boardman Street. Mellon and his gang are in Palm Beach, an island in a city of billionaires and multimillionaires, according to the guy. Parker immediately calls Claire and her father and suggests that they go on a trip of some sort. The protagonist realizes that his enemies will use people close to him to get to him. Meanwhile, the action shifts to Florida, where real estate agent Leslie Rogers stays and works a crucial role. At that time, the criminal organization is plotting its next major case. Parker is still alive, according to Hardwick's brother. When Hardwick reveals this to Menander, the latter is furious. He becomes enraged and threatens to shoot one of his men. However, Ross claims that even without the plan will fail. Mellon instructs Hardwick to contact his powerful uncle, Mr. Danziger, in Chicago, and hire a hitman to assassinate Parker. Danziger dispatches his best hitman, Maine Kroll, to track down Parker. The hitman first enters Claire's home to kidnap her before moving on to Parker. The girl prepares to leave for a vacation. However, there is a strange noise in the the astute girl sneaks out of the house through a window and stamps the tire of the hitman's car, allowing her to flee the killer in the car. Claire calls her lover in tears and informs him that a hitman has broken into her home. Parker tells her to go to the fishing camp on Lake Okeechobee's Sawtooth Bay in Florida and stay there until Friday. Meanwhile, Parker returns to Houston to obtain the new papers, but finds 3 of Danziger's subordinates lying on the floor under Nor's supervision, and his assistant Ernesto Parker, who shoots Ernesto in both legs. When he is asked to lie on the floor next to the uninvited guests, he realizes Ernesto works for Danziger and betrays him, so he takes his papers and forces Dan to shoot the 3 men sent by Dan. Having no other option, Norn uses his revolver to shoot the 3 and later leaves his fingerprints. Parker meets Hurley, who informs him that Danziger has contacted him and left him a portion of the proceeds from the previous robbery in order to calm things down. Parker realizes he is deceiving him because a Chicago mob boss would never offer money to someone who interferes with their plans. Parker refuses the money and is eager to defend his principles and exact vengeance on the clown. To accomplish this, he travels to Florida disguised as Daniel Parameta, an escaped convict living in San Antonio, Texas, as if he were buying a house in this awkward home buying operation. He is assisted by the well-known Leslie Rogers, but before purchasing the property, the man decides to pay Claire a visit. They meet as agreed, and Parker proposes breaking it off so that she is not endangered. A real estate agent's exploratory trip. Parker walks indifferently past lavish villas, but comes to a halt in front of a dingy house by local standards. Mr. Rodrigo purchased it 2 months earlier for $1.2 million. He realizes he has located the house where Linder's gang members intend to hide after the robbery. Leslie invites Parker to lunch to stay in touch, but he declines because he is too busy. Rogers, intrigued by the potential client's situation, inquires at the bank one evening but receives no transaction, leaving her perplexed. Later, the girl receives notification that her car has been repossessed, and she is enraged because, in addition to this debt, she owes money to her cheating ex-husband. During this time, Hitman Crow visits Nort and murders him, believing he is working with Parker. At sunset, the protagonist returns to Mr. Rodrigo's house, where he discovers their cache of weapons. He sets traps and researches their robbery plan. When he gets back to his car, he runs into Leslie, who offers to continue the conversation in private. Parker is violent because he believes she is working for someone. She only tells him what she knows and what she has observed. He is not who he claims to be. When they arrive at the empty office of the real estate agency where Leslie works overnight, she laments her fate and offers to work for him in exchange for a percentage of the profits. Instead of responding, Parker instructs her to remove her underwear to ensure she is not wearing a wire. Parker contacts Rogers and offers to help him with the mission in exchange for a share of the money, and she confirms he promises to consider her offer the next day. Parker reveals Mellon's plan and the loot that awaits them if all goes well, which is $57 million. Leslie freaks out when Parker reveals that they plan to rob the diamond auction belonging to local socialite Marion Hop Clinton. She believes the mission is too dangerous and that they will be apprehended, but she cannot back down now. Mellon and the gang arrive at the back gate of Mrs. Clinton's vast estate, where the auction will take place. Mellon-Dare and his associates are dressed in blue jumpsuits from a company that specializes in technical support for public events. Parker later drops Leslie off at her office and returns to his hotel room, where he meets Kroll. Parker hits the killer in the head, causing him to slam his head against the bathtub. He believes he is dead. He exits the bathroom, but Kroll attacks him from behind the assassin and tries to stab him before being thrown from the 26th floor balcony. Parker has also been seriously injured, but he is still alive. When the protagonist visits Leslie's home, a local cop questions her about her client, Parker. Suddenly, the woman notices blood stains on the floor and attempts to summon a police officer. Parker later instructed her to go to a payphone to call Claire. He cannot risk going to the hospital, so Claire arrives to treat his wounds and informs him that she will not leave him. Meanwhile, Parker's adversaries plan an upcoming robbery. Hardwick waits for the auction to begin before remotely activating the pyrotechnic systems Ross has installed in the speaker. Mellon-Dare and 2 accomplices disguised as firefighters drive a fire engine to the estate and take the jewels. The police installed all 3 drawbridges that connect Palm Beach to the mainland. They also keep an eye on the marina and block the roads. Hardwick, a speedboat, diverts the police's attention, and Mellon and his comrades in arms dive into the lagoon with their wetsuits and diving gear in return. Parker is hiding under tables with 2 guns, waiting for them. This is where Leslie enters the picture, whom Hardwick apprehends after discovering her peering through the window. And her suspects, Parker is nearby and dispatches his men to search the residence. Parker murders Ross quietly, and I order Hardwick to go after Parker. Carlson, on the other hand, remains with Leslie. Melander notices Parker and attempts to shoot him in the back, but misses. Parker eliminates Melander after the fight, and Leslie shoots Carlson with the gun hidden under the table at the same time. Hardwick hands Leslie the gun and threatens to kill her if Parker refuses to split the loot. When he pulls the trigger, however, the gun malfunctions. Parker smacks Hardwick in the face. Parker finally breaks up with Leslie, telling him to hide the jewels in an air conditioning duct and promising to send someone to retrieve them in 3 months. Parker tracks down and kills Danziger 6 months later. Leslie receives her share of the $24 million in 2 cardboard boxes via express mail a year later. Parker rescues the farmer who saved him from death in the final scene, and the old man begins to believe Parker is not a man at all, but an angel. We really appreciate you watching. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel with the notification bell because it is really important for us. Thank you.